Hey, sentient electric lamp, how you doing? And have I listened to Breaking Benjamin? Yes. I mean, I've spoken very highly of them before. I know they came out with a new single. I haven't listened to it yet. And hello, Purple Floyd. Hey guys, RanterInShades here. Exercise my First Amendment rights stream style. So I know the election's probably on a lot of people's mind. I'm not really wanting to talk like a lot about it because, as I've mentioned a number of times, I'm really wanting to, distance myself from a lot of political, talk and whatnot because I know what it does and I know what happens as a result of it. Um, but all I'm really going to say is, I'd be lying if I were to say I didn't see this coming as far back as like the beginning of this year, maybe even last year. Because, as I said back in 2020, the big like ticket for Biden at the time was COVID. And now that the pandemic's over, like, what do the Democrats like really have now other than I'm not Trump? And if that's all your campaign is based on, then, you know, you're not really going to have very much appeal. So it really wasn't, a shock to me. I'm not angry. I'm not happy. You're not really going to be getting very much reaction from me because I just was not at all, you know, detached. I was not at all like emotionally invested. I was very detached. I was very apathetic basically all year. So that's about as much as you're going to get from me um, about it. Um, but I feel like, no matter, how people are feeling, no matter who you may have voted for, I feel like everybody just sort of needs to, you know, chill a little, have some, positive vibes and whatnot. And, you know, positivity is what I like to supply. So, figured we just have a little chill stream where there's not really much of a set topic. You know, have one of those. Um, my pet raccoon ripped up your couch. You have a pet raccoon. How does how does that work? Like, you know, and by the way, the overkill shirt was also somewhat intentional because I feel like we're going to be met with an overkill of reactions. But in all actuality, I got this on Halloween. I saw King Diamond, which was like the most fitting Halloween concert that I've ever been to. And Overkill were opening at that show, which was awesome. Um, I live in the country and he kept showing up. We took him to the vet and they said he was okay, so we kept him. That reminds me an awful lot of that story that's been making rounds of that family who had that animal sanctuary who had the fucking feds kill a squirrel and take a raccoon away. Um, Getting some rain here. A few flash flood warnings to my southwest. Wow. We actually had a really warm day. It was like mid 70s today, which never happens in November up here. But he keeps ripping everything up though. His name's Nibbles. That's cool. I'm on my way to go watch Godzilla -1 and John Wick. Oh, that is cool. At least you are, you know, doing something that, that you're able to, get immersed in for a while. I just brushed my teeth and I feel like there's something in my mouth. Have I listened to Cold Rain? No. I just looked up Cold Rain on Wikipedia. They're a Japanese metalcore band. Um, um, man, I guess it sounds interesting. Like personally, I haven't really been going out of my way to really find much metalcore because I feel like there's way too many metalcore bands these days. Um, how's the gym treating you? Um, Funny you mentioned that because I just got back from the gym just now. Um, Gym's going pretty well. The trainer that I meet with recently had surgery done on his knee, so I'm not meeting with him for like another month because he needs to go through some physical therapy for it. But I'm still going 3 times a week, sometimes 2 if I have something else going on. But yeah, gym is functional. And hey, coffee. So, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm not sure if you were around to hear it. I'm not wanting the stream to focus too much on the election. I gave very brief thoughts, but I'm really not wanting to, talk too much about it because I feel like people really could use just just a good chill session. Just a cool, just a nice little, relaxing, you know, experience for a little while. I agree. I gathered. Yeah. Like again, I was just very, very, very apathetic the whole time, and I'll be honest, it felt nice not really paying attention to anything. You have people coming over and you have an hour to make something for them to eat. What are you making? It can't be frozen or from a box. Can it come from a package? Because uh, usually like I can cook pasta in about like 30 minutes, and meatballs are pretty quick for me to prepare. Um, I can also make a really good omelet, but I probably would need more time to make multiple omelets. By the way, guys, if you haven't noticed, got this new chair for my birthday this year because my old one was its armrest was busted, and it was also doing this thing where it would occasionally sort of drop down the height randomly. And so I sent my mom the link to this chair, courtesy of coffee, um, and it's going pretty nicely so far using this chair. I especially love the pillow over here, the magnetic pillow that you can just move around. Would you rather dip your French fries in your beer or put ketchup on your steak? Uh, Probably the former because I've never actually like eaten a steak before, and although I don't really like the taste of beer, I feel like it wouldn't make the fries any less enjoyable. And also, finally got a new phone. It is an iPhone 16, and I'm currently working on finally getting Apple Music working with this and getting the stuff in my iTunes library sort of mirrored over. But I'm also making note of the stuff that is appearing in the downloaded list where I'm thinking, really? There is no way that's not available on the service and it's not matching. So I'm going to see if something if someone who knows the shit better can sort of talk me through that. But I like having a phone that is more up to date and isn't having much in the way of like weird software related setbacks. Like the two things that really pushed me in this direction were number one, that the battery was draining pretty quickly, and I had already replaced the battery on my old phone once, and I did not want to do it again. And also, when I was going to a show one day, and I was double checking what time the doors were, uh, the Ticketmaster app was saying, an update is required," and so I would click the thing, and it would take me to the app store where no like download would take place. So it got me thinking it's probably, only available on like the latest software update, and if this phone isn't updating to the latest software, then I think it's kind of time to upgrade. Um, it's an iPhone 16 and bad. Oof. If you were given multiple millions of dollars, but you had no choice but to live in New York City or Los Angeles, which city would you pick? Oh, New York, easily. I miss New York a lot, you know. Went to college over in Westchester County, and I would go to the city pretty regularly, whether for my internship that I had at the time or for shows out there. Whenever I do go to shows over there, like earlier this year when I made a trip up to New York City to see Mr. Big, it was very nostalgic being back there. Meanwhile, I finished painting another figure. We'll post pics later. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a thing I gotta check on. Good. What's a U.S. state or just city that you thought you would dislike, but when you visited, you ended up enjoying? I don't know, because I don't know if I've really been to very much of them that I really felt that way about. And the closest I can think um, would be um, maybe Albuquerque when one of my sets of grandparents that's no longer alive lived over there. Um, Maybe Seattle when I was really on my anti Nirvana shit. Um, but that was a pretty enjoyable trip over there. And then we went on a train trip from there to Montana, which was pretty awesome. Ah, just saw your picture, Coffee. That is quite a face that he has. Nice overkill shirt. Thank you, Space Metal. Here is the full view. Yeah, they were cool to see, open for King Diamond on Halloween. Very energetic. I'll be getting an Acer Spire laptop for Christmas. Tired of loading up my desktop every time I go to visit family. Oh, a Spire. Same one that he got, apparently. Wait, are you referring? Wait, Space Metal. Are you referring to? You're referring to my shirt, right? Not the laptop that Sentient Electric is getting, because I know you're a Mac user, like me. And hey, Hair Metal Brony. Oh, you have this shirt? Awesome. So, ... What did I miss? Not much. I gave very, very brief thoughts on the election, but I'm really just not wanting this to be, like, too focused on it, because I really feel that people could just use some, a little relaxing hangout here. Yeah, we're avoiding election talk for this one. We've just been chilling and talking about a few random things. Yeah, it's just a chill stream over here. There really isn't any set discussion topic.
What is?
I just realized that Space has a different profile picture. Besides, other channels have been covering the election, and it's somewhat funny fallout from the result. Let those guys handle it. Well, yeah, if people want to talk about it, whatever. It's just not really what I'm wanting to do over here. My upcoming trip to Arizona has been all over my mind to really care to talk about politics. Yeah, when did you say you were going to be down there again? And hello, Chelsea. South Carolina plays Vanderbilt on Saturday. Actually nervous about Vandy for once. Not sure what that is. Ah. So it's like coming up. And then when you get back, you and me will be seeing Wasp. Which should be pretty interesting. Lane and Sentient know the context why I'm a nervous wreck. Didn't realize you were nervous. I'm guessing it has something to do with racing. Something interesting that I saw in my email this morning when I woke up is that next year Chiodos is going to be doing a tour for the 20-year anniversary of All's Well That Ends Well, and I'm definitely gonna go to that. Is is it because the last time you went to Arizona, it was because some goth kids airmailed you to Scottsdale? I'm also gonna buy another train tomorrow. You're gonna buy a train, like a model train, or like... A virtual train, lol. I don't have the money for for model stuff. Damn sure not real stuff, though I sure wish. Yeah, like out of context, it's like, oh, I'm gonna buy a train just cause it's a train. Trains are cool. I need to rewatch South Park again. And what do you reckon are the chances of another special or even season being released soon due to this recent election and the events around it? Well, in regards to that, Matt and Trey have said that they weren't going to cover the election at all. And it's not because they just, it's mostly because they just, don't think they can really derive anything really funny out of it because, it's funny because while I was walking over to the polls yesterday, which was a good, on my walk route, it's about, a 30-minute walk. I passed by the place on my route. I was listening to the latest video from Johnny Two Cellos, who, if you don't know him, he's a cartoon reviewer analysis guy who specializes in mostly talking about like adult animated stuff. He did this. He made this 45-minute video, basically like this retrospective about like South Park's portrayal of like every president and presidential candidate, and as time went on, I've noticed they sort of felt like they couldn't really derive very great material out of certain people, or they were just sort of, not really feeling it a lot of the time the way they might have in the past. And I feel like, someone like Joe Biden or someone like Kamala Harris, they wouldn't really be able to get very much, really good material out of. So what I'm predicting is going to happen is that they're going to have this storyline revolving around Garrison and his Trump persona. They're going to have some storyline revolving around that where, he's either going to go back to being president or he's going to, or he's going to like detach himself from it and they get like actual Trump. Now, as for when that's going to happen, I don't know. Probably, I'm predicting the start of next year. Maybe there's going to be a special before the end of this year. I've noticed that, they're very quiet about promoting it, which is kind of fun. Just seeing it, be announced as like, oh, this is coming soon. I'm like, oh, sweet. Because all I'm saying is the jokes would be writing themselves. I don't know, maybe. I feel like, at the same time, though, I feel like a lot of the shit might be a bit kind of tepid for them. The goth kids are a good guess, but nah. I'll just briefly explain why I'm a nervous wreck. 2024 has been, let's just say, ridiculously awesome, and I only want one more amazing moment with my longtime bro Lane, no less. Okay, back. Took some antibiotics, ibuprofen for my crown. I'm sober, down from politics. Yeah, me too. Me too, Squeaky. Gonna try to avoid social media as much as I can in the next few days. It's kind of what I've been doing. I haven't really been logging on to Facebook very much, unless it's for communication with select people, and I'm intentionally keeping that vague. But I haven't really been doing very much, and I only ever browse Instagram whenever I am like sorta kind of out and about. Same Squeaky, but watching leftists cry is funny. I don't know. It's just kind of depressing whenever people do that. It's been depressing for like the last few elections whenever people, do that because they were just that emotionally invested. Like people like you have a right to be upset if you want to. You have a right to be happy if you want to. But I feel like, people in general just need to sort of chill and, not allow themselves to get, so worked up that they end up alienating people and pushing people away. In fairness, it's likely some of the jokes would have already been done by Freedom Tunes, so they would have their hands full thinking of original ideas for it. I see what you mean, though. Because like, that's the thing with Matt Stone and Trey Parker. They try to be very clever and very original. They don't like, you know, they don't like beating dead horses and relying on like overdone jokes for their material. So I feel like that's another big reason why they've been making a point to not go anywhere near the election. And I feel like that was true in 2020 as well. Been burnt the shit out of it before and after it happened. I may be on the left, but I even find the far left laughable. I find extremists on all sides laughable. Right before Space Metal is scheduled to come visit me, I start catching fucking COVID for the third time. Oh no. Jeez. I'm sorry. You know, that's the thing. Like, even though the pandemic is definitely over, that doesn't mean COVID doesn't still exist, because it obviously does. People do still get sick from it. My mom got it a second time. I forget if it was this year or last year, but it was recent. And that's another reason why, even before Biden ended up dropping out of the election, I knew that there's no way he would be able to sort of coast on that the way he did in 2020. So that's how I sort of had a feeling that the Dems weren't going to get a second term, mostly because of that. They need to find a new angle if they really want to, win people over. The crown pain taught me to ignore the election, even if it's physical. I feel like that's more so, I guess, the willpower from within, the crown pain, I feel like might be just sort of a cherry on top, I guess, like something else to, I guess, put your focus on. It sucks that you have to deal with that. Well, my mouth said, hey, I'm more important. Because, yeah, your health is more important. Your physical and your mental health. And I'm not just saying that to virtue signal. I genuinely mean that. I feel like people have the right to be upset, though. It's rooted in the fear that certain rights will be gradually taken away, rights that have been fought for decades. But remember back in, Trump's first presidency, were any of those rights, like, taken away? No, I don't think so. The ironic thing is that, and I'm using this because it's really the only example that's coming to mind, the overturning of Roe v. Wade was done under Biden, so make of that what you will. But, I'm not expecting anything really major to take place. I'm just expecting life to kind of go on as usual. I hope it won't be a thing, though. I'm pretty confident it won't. Hey, Shades, how's it going? Not doing too bad. Been having a very, relaxing day outside of, going to the gym earlier tonight. Wasp may or may not be my last of 2024. Who knows? I'm always on and off about concerts in December, generally. Yeah, me too. I have 2 in December. Like, these are like the only other two concerts I have tickets for. Um, Joyce Manor on the 9th and Shadows Fall on the 21st. I may be going to the 4 Year Strong holiday show over here with some friends. Um, but I haven't gotten my ticket yet. I need to be sure that that plan is set before I do. Um, only thing we can do is keep moving forward. Yep. You know, if there's anything that I'm grateful for Walt Disney for, it's for that quote. Election is finally over, and now I can stop getting those annoying text messages. Yeah, I mean, people are probably going to be, given their reactions for it for the next maybe day or two. And then I think shit's gonna, simmer down a little, especially when the holidays come in. Shadows Fall or Exodus are ones I have watched, but otherwise Wasp will be a nice wrap up for the 2024 catalog. What's going to be weird, though, about this Wasp show is that it's taken place at the venue that I've seen Satriani at 3 times. It's not going to stop me from trying to live my life. And why should it? That's really like the most people can really do is just sort of, carry on and not dwell too much on, on things that are only bringing you negativity. I just hope we don't get the cringe 2016 era anti-Trump shit. Who's to say? I mean, I've been really good at tuning a lot of that out and not really engaging with the shit. For the next figure, I'm caught between doing another Berserker, another Terminator, or finishing the Mauler Fiend. I would go with that third one just because, it's unfinished. Politics in general feels like it's become just one massive grift. It is, It's been that way for pretty much the whole time. Sometimes I think back to, the 2016 era and whatnot, and it's like, was it really worth it to be as invested in that as I was? Um, Simping Trump, likening him to Hitler, it's all ungodly stupid, and it's indeed why I don't ever want to get sucked into this like a vortex. I definitely see a lot of me and Stan Marsh, right, from the giant douche and turd sandwich episode. Yeah. Oh, don't worry, Tony. We'll likely get some of that, only in more concentrated doses with the same NPC dialogue trees to boot. But yeah, I mean, this is obviously wishful thinking, but I'm hoping that it won't be as toxic as it was back then, because that was a big thing that really just made me kind of tired of it. Is just seeing how toxic people were getting. Like both sides calling each other groomers and shit. Yeah. Like I remember when when Pizzagate first came to light, that's when I was like, okay, I think this has gone too far. If only I could have y'all's attitude. I follow things a bit too closer than I probably should. Only a select few know where I lean, and it's staying that way. Okay, that's fair. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say that I'm, apolitical and whatnot because, I don't really believe that that's really possible. But I feel like the most you can really do is just, be very particular with, with your intake of it, and just not allow yourself to get too, sucked into it, especially if it's getting to a point where, you know, where you're pushing people away intentionally or not. I mean, obviously, there may be exceptions to that. Some people are probably going down a pretty toxic path politically, but, I feel like people should have the self awareness to see if they are, treading down that area. And hello, Mr. Vegan Metalhead. It's one thing to keep up with the political sphere, but it's another to be terminally online about it. That's a good term, terminally online. Because that was like the problem, just how terminally online people were about the shit. Yeah, because I do think, to some degree, people should probably, you know, be informed on certain things. But yeah, it's important to have, a life outside of it. It's important to have other things kind of going for you and other things that you can occupy your time with. I'm disappointed with who won the election. And yeah, I definitely understand, the disappointment a lot of people feel. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like people should, you know, try to be a little positive. Twitter is still full of people being terminally online about everything. Exactly. That's why I think the site is so terrible. That's why, with the exception of creating that account to try to tweet at Facebook about my account, I just don't want to go anywhere near there. There's a reason I don't have an account there. I'm disappointed with our choices more than anything. Yeah, like that's another thing. I feel like what I'm hoping is that 4 years from now, uh, the people running for president will be people that are more in touch with people like us that are just sort of disenfranchised by everything. Um, Twitter's nowhere near Reddit, but I ain't going down that rabbit hole. Yeah, obviously, Reddit is no better at all. Big amen squeaky. Yeah. I don't ever want to return to Twitter ever again. Yeah. And Reddit is nowhere near 4chan. 4chan is taking things to an extreme. Fun fact, I once had some guy on 4chan try to incite a raid on me just because I made a video where I said I liked rap music. Thankfully nobody really, bought into his little spiel and saw that he was being petty. There's no reason to go back to Twitter at this point. I've definitely heard things about how Elon is running the site, and it obviously doesn't really help matters. Wow, indeed. I only have Reddit and Twitter of Reddit, Twitter, and 4chan. Oh, I see what you mean. That those are the two that you have. Yeah. I don't have a Reddit account. I don't have a 4chan account. Um, because I knew a long time ago that 4chan wasn't really a place that I wanted to, be anywhere near. Because I know how the people are over there. I only peek at certain accounts on Knitter, but that's it. Trump had a bigger edge in terms of campaigning. Kamala joined in way too late for her to gain the right momentum to have the same support. That and the fact that her only real appeal in my eyes was, I'm not Trump. And it's like, that's not enough to really, get people invested in your campaign. Must not say anything. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really like her very much either. Like, back when she was running in 2020, I really did not like her. That's why it was kind of surprising seeing how many people you know, were like really, gunning hard for her after Biden dropped out. And it's like, really? That's the most I really want to say about her. To steer away from politics a bit, not that I want to dominate the chat with my upcoming trip to Arizona, but let's just say if a certain outcome happens over there, I'll go to Berlin as a celebration. Must bring out Man Bear Pig. uh freaking fuck, what, he was one of the people working for the water park last time we saw him, I believe. Also, to steer away from politics, I've been in quite the rabbit hole of police dash cam slash body cam videos, mostly Arkansas stuff, but some Wisconsin, a little bit of Florida as well. That sounds interesting. Police footage. You see how the shit is actually conducted. Yeah, she came across as hello, fellow citizens with her approach. Lol, yeah. Used to watch those videos a ton. Ooh. Some advice for y'all. If you're ever in Arizona, don't pull any BS. Their cops do not fuck around. I have a story that is related to that. And Space Metal knows this story. I'm not sure if I've told the story on my Discord anywhere at any point. But there was one time in May of 2017 when I was driving to New York to see Bayside that year. I would have seen them in mass when they were on that tour, but their mass date was on the same day I was going to be in New York seeing state champs with a college friend of mine. And when I was driving to New York for the Bayside show, driving to New York from Massachusetts involves driving through Connecticut, and Connecticut police are known for being very, very anal. And because I was very slightly swerving, I guess, in the far left lane, I was pulled over. I had to do a sobriety test because the cop was very convinced that I was on something. But I wasn't under the influence of any drugs or alcohol. maybe a sugar rush because I had a can of Monster with me. But that was really it. And, thankfully I only got a warning because, he wasn't able to prove that I was under the influence. But yeah, Connecticut police are fucking assholes. Um, um, so what I'm hearing is, Chiro, you've been binge watching Donut Operator. I wasn't planning to go to Arkansas anyway. To steer clear of politics for a minute as well, I'm obsessed with dirty dining news segments on Filthy Restaurant. Not Quite Coffee, Natural State Transparency, and Code Blue Cam are my go-to channels. That's why I'm uneasy about driving in Connecticut even more than necessary now. I see. I'm gonna head out, gonna start a stream of my own, take it easy. Have a good stream, Squeaky. Oh, I'm a lovely. I made a meme of a picture and captioned it, Roach Buffet with grease hanging off the grill. A meme of a picture? Birds! Did not know that about Connecticut State Police. I'll keep that in mind if I'm ever up that north, which will only happen if I ever get the chance to visit Maine. What would you say was your favorite thing to happen / come out of this year? Well, one answer I have for this is something that I am not at liberty to reveal yet. Few people know what I'm referring to, but it has not been made public yet. But it would be that. Otherwise, I would say some things that come to mind are my Motley Crue video and my Dream Theater video doing really well. And my brother getting married. Those would be the things that, that come to mind about that. Mine is absolutely my collab with Shades and 2 other friends of mine at Metallica. Right? That was a cool experience, even though the second show got massively drenched and Ice Nine Kills set had to be cut. So that really brought the experience down. I'll be heading off as well. You have a good time. See you, Chero. I pity Ice Nine Kills. And what sucked is that, they soon after, had, some shows scheduled in Worcester, and I was already going to see Leprous that night. It's like, damn it. A7X wasn't there our first time in 2017 either. Yeah, that was also unfortunate. I wouldn't mind seeing Sevenfold again if, if an opportunity came. The only time I saw them was when they were headlining Mayhem Fest in 2014. Ice Nine X Real Big Fish collab cover of Walking on Sunshine was kind of Kino, not gonna lie. Yeah, I heard about that. Such uh, a weird mix of bands and a weird song to cover. I say as someone who is not really into Ice Nine Kills. I like them. I just sort of feel that I kind of want them to sort of veer a little away from the horror stuff and do something like they did with Every Trick in the Book. There's something else I want to say to highlight 2024, but I don't know if he's on the stream for me to say or share. Let's just say he's overseas. Oh, I know what you're referring to. I know what you're referring to. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of another one of my 2024 highlights was meeting Atticus in person. An odd little corner of YouTube, and wow, you've been doing this for 11 years. BTW, I think Tim Dillon stole your look. Not sure I know who that is. I do not see it. I think a ska and Walking on Sunshine is a pretty perfect combo. Yeah. I had Skellig Michael, a moving experience. Yeah, I always thought the horror aspect of them felt kind of forced. Like, I thought the first Silver Scream was interesting, but the second one I just wasn't really excited for. It wasn't bad, I just wasn't as excited for it. He's a famous YouTuber and a friend of Joe Rogan. He wears shades all the time. I mean, a lot of people have, you know, compared me to Cover Killer Nation and Razor Fist for the same reason. Because I just looked up Tim Dillon on Google Images, and I'm like, this guy is too fat to have stolen my look or whatever. And now I have Walking on Sunshine stuck in my head. Fuck. Is it because of the glasses? To steer further away from politics, anybody want to ask Shades the context of "Don't put your feet on my clothes"? Please don't, because I really don't want to talk about that. I love how a lot of people in this stream are saying to steer further away from politics. It's like that's gonna be like a thing now. I didn't even reference Walking on Sunshine. I know, and that's the crazy part. To steer further away from politics. Yes. I guess it's going to be one of my channel's memes now. I always hated politics. Yeah. I've just become more and more like, what's a good word? I guess burnt out by it over time. To steer further from politics, did you know Gerard Way and Joe Rogan are cousins? I think I heard that before from someone. I forget who told me that, though. At least you aren't SV3 Ridge eating a pig's head at vegan events. Wow. That's definitely a very forced troll move. E5. Don't know. Yeah. Sounds like the kind of thing that someone would do to get a rise out of people. Like, it's very akin to like what the Westboro Baptist Church do when they protest the funeral of someone that died. It reminds me a bit of that. They're just trying to get a reaction from people. I just picked up some airborne gummies from Walmart to help cut my COVID recovery process in half, speed it up. I gotta chew 3 of them each day. Cool. Play E5 on your keyboard? Oh, I know what that's referring to now. And no, I will not. I'm not going to plug the MIDI keyboard in, and I'm not going to do that. Play E40. I don't know if it goes that high. Why not? Because I know what that's the first note for. And I know why you are saying it. Yep, I know your dirty tricks. And now I have that song stuck in my head. Thanks a lot, Space. Yes, the rabbit version specifically. Take it easy, man. Good luck with the channel. And long live heavy metal. Thank you, sir. Also discovered Blood Incantation recently. Pretty Kino shit. That's a name I've heard. I don't know what kind of music they do, though. Ooh. Regressive Death? Also think their name is an Elden Ring reference. Ooh, their bassist plays a fretless. That is neat. Some people have called them the Pink Floyd of death metal. Interesting. Yeah. Death metal is also a genre I'm very sort of particular with the kinds of bands I get into there. Usually they're progressive death. Could be worse. I'd Run My Heart Will Go On into the ground. It would at least be different. And plus, it would be, honestly, for a bit anyway, I can see it being kind of funny hearing you try to sing that. Can't blame you. Death metal can end up feeling samey after a while. You'd be reminded of Titanic. Maybe. Or Dragon Force. Oh, yeah. Right. Because Dragon Force did a cover of that. Titanic. Ha. Sis, how can I sing in typing? mean, you'll probably... No. I'm not giving you any ideas. I'm not giving you any ideas. Through the iceberg and the waves. Raise your hand if you like bunny videos. There's this one video I saw of a rabbit swimming. It was kind of awesome. Don't expect me to. Hey, I did my job and took over the chat with hilariously annoying songs. And to your credit, I now have the key change of that song in my head now. Ever feel like Rap God is just the through the fire and flames of rap music? Probably, kind of. The comparison definitely makes sense. I remember feeling like that back when he put out Music to Be Murdered By, and Godzilla became big from that album. But if that's Through the Fire and Flames, then Twista is the Rings of Saturn of rap. Suddenly everyone vanished besides Tony, Chelsea, and I. It says 5 people are watching right now. So actually, wait a second. What's another fast band? Man, Rings of Saturn used to be one of my favorites. Yeah. They're one of those bands that, they don't really have any standout songs. You only really listen to them for just sort of the concept of it all, the novelty that a guy can play like that. Amazing prog deathcore. I feel like they've been veering more into just straight prog metal ever since it basically just became an instrumental act. I was thinking, if Twista is Rings of Saturn, what would that make Busta Rhymes? I have a shower to take. I'll say goodbye now. If the stream is over by the time I'm done showering. I fell off then for some time, but I guess Lucas Mann became a pretentious twit or something, and everyone now hates him. I remember back in 2019, there was drama between him and Jared Dines when Jared said that he was faking his Instagram videos and he proved that he wasn't. It was drama that really didn't need to happen, and it just came from Jared just, kind of forcing a video, and he looked kind of dumb after. Seriously, that just sounds so petty. Good night, vegan metalhead. Deathcore used to be the genre back in the 2010s. Yeah. I remember, like, it was like early 2010s. That was like, a big vehicle. Um, and a video I have planned for next year that I have the script done for um, is going to touch a little on that. Fucking ads. Yeah. I remember the debate of Writhed of whether deathcore should count as metal. Yeah. Something else I remember about that time was was when Job for a Cowboy first came out. Everyone hated them. Um, when they started out as a deathcore band and then they became a death metal band, and then there were people saying that no, they can't play this because they're tainted by the deathcore poserdom or something like that. And it's like, they're playing a genre you like. What is the problem? Um, like, I don't even really like Job for a Cowboy, but I remember when that was happening, I was like, are you guys for real? They were like deathcore for like one EP. Yeah, it was like their first EP. And it's like, why are you people making such a big deal out of this? Joffrey Cowboy went prog after a while. Huh. That seems like a natural progression for a lot of death metal bands, is to get proggier over time. I think their last two albums are very good. Okay. Or technical death metal. The bass in those are pretty crazy. Almost Mudvayne type bass. Huh. Can't go wrong with that. I first encountered them through Embedded on Rock Band 2 DLC. Yeah, I remember back in the day, DLC for those games had quite a lot going for them. I remember one of the Guitar Hero games had a Death Clock song in it. Yes, Guitar Hero 2 had Thunder Horse as one of the bonus songs, and that was how I first heard of Death Clock before I even watched Metalocalypse. You FC'd it. Ooh. What are you linking right now? Oh, you're linking your FC. Any thoughts on Thunder, British hard rock band from the 90s? They're okay. Man, those types of games used to be the essential party game to have. Now, if they were to make a comeback, it would be a nice thing. Yeah. Opinion on Taiketo. That first album is a very underrated gem. Forever Young and Wings are such cool songs. I hope one day I can come close to FCing Jordan, of course. My friend loves Danger Danger. Awesome. I love him too. Danger Danger is 80s to the point of being almost stereotypical. Hmm. You know, it's fun stuff, and Andy Timmons is one of my favorite guitarists. Best album to kick off the 90s, Firehouse debut, and Steelheart's debut. Those are both great. And on that note, rest in peace, CJ Snare. Now suddenly I sucked myself into both my and other people's Guitar Hero and Rock Band videos. You jumping, yeah, you playing with the algorithm. Through the Fire and Flames FC is a dream one day soon. Top 20 favorite guitarists of all time. Well, well, I already know, I've been very vocal about Joe Satriani being my favorite. Mark Tremonti, Andy Timmons, and Jack O'Shea of Bayside would come after. Then Stevie Ray Vaughan, Gary Moore, John Frusciante. Um, those would definitely be there as well. Michael Romeo is awesome. Do you know Galnerius? What is your take on them? I know of them. Haven't really tried listening to them. Devin Townsend? He's more of an iconic character, I would say. But he can write some great riffs. Um, uh, Joe Duplantier and Mark Morton, I also, have in that same category of just really great riff writers. Gojira did a great job at the Olympics. Mm-hmm. That was like a big thing for them, a big thing for metal, and I'm really glad they got that opportunity. Gojira was the only good part of that opening. It's the only thing that I really know happened. The rest of it was just the French being their type weird selves. Oh, typical weird selves. Yeah. I know there were people calling the opening like satanic or something, but uh, pretty much tuned that out because it was just it's just, you know, weird Christians being weird Christians. The NFL needs to wake up, have a metal band play at the Super Bowl. They better do it, or we will protest and say we want metal. Don't know how much good that will do, but I agree with the sentiment. boy. Upstairs is making some noise. I'm sorry to say this, but the NFL is never going to let a metal band play halftime. Yeah, in their eyes, it's probably not very, like, marketable or anything like that. I mean, there's definitely been some weirder halftime performances, but that's something that I feel like might be too weird for them. Like, even if Metallica were to do it, like, this was brought up in one of the other streams, but Metallica's songs are so long, they wouldn't want to shorten them. Especially with Jay-Z calling the shots on who plays it. I had no idea Jay-Z even had a say in it. Do you think that Drake needs to be canceled or not because he's a predator? I'm going to save any discussion about that for when I inevitably talk about Not Like Us in Best Songs this year. I'm just going to hold off on that for now. Moot. Drake Bell did a good comeback with his music. I had no idea he put new music out. Drake should be canceled for being mid. Yeah. Like, I've been making fun of Drake on here for God knows how long. Steel Panther did a great job on America's Got Talent, huh? Did not know they went on that show. Been hating on Drake since high school and have never seen a reason to stop. Me neither. Um, the best music genre that has the great vocalist of all time. I have to be honest. I'll go to power metal. Hair metal have some great vocalists. to same as classic traditional metal. All right, gotta head off now. Hope to see you next time. See you, Tony. But yeah, great vocalists in both of those genres for sure. But for great male vocalist, I would go with power metal. Yep. Who do you think is better, Enforcer or Skullfist, the bands from the new wave of traditional heavy metal scene and influencing kids nowadays to get into the stuff they grew up with? Hold on, let me just double check. I'm gonna go with Skullfist for that one. Got into them through hearing a song of theirs in the movie Deathgasm. And I thought they sounded remarkable. Ambush for sure. Space. Don't think I don't know what that's a reference to. I know it's a letter, but I also know what it is referencing. You literally made this reference earlier in the stream. Who do you think is better, Twilight Force or Avantasia? Avantasia for sure. Twilight Force is good, but they are a bit cheesy. Connected to a number, but now by itself, though. Again, I know your game, dude. Space, are you trying to be bad again? Yes, he is. And I think I know what that is referencing. C5. Halloween or Manowar? Halloween. I feel like Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2 is much more of a classic than anything Manowar's put out. What is it then? Is there a B flat that comes after the C at some point? Beast in Black or Battle Beast? That's a tough one. I feel like I want to go with Battle Beast, but I feel like Beast in Black is the more consistent one. Dragon Force or Rhapsody? Dragon Force, because they're more fun. You guess. It's a yes or no question, dude. You can't guess. Ambush or Visigoth? Ambush. Have not been listening to Visigoth for as long. No, actually, yes. So, yes. I know your game, dude. I know what you're referencing now. Loudness or Anthem? Loudness for sure. Rosencrown or Crystal Viper? Never listened to either, so I can't answer. Randy Rhoads or Eddie Van Halen? Definitely Eddie. Eddie was always way more iconic to me than Randy Rhoads. Bullet or Airborne? Airborne, because I'm more familiar with them than Bullet. Lucifer's Hammer sounds familiar, at least. Oh. You can thank Razorfist for my knowledge of Bullet. Yep. Um, Anthem, J Metal, or Earthshaker. Anvil because I've never heard of Earthshaker. What is your opinion on More Than Words Can Say by Alias, one of the good ballads of that start of the 90s? That's a good ballad. Never really listened to too much of Alias. But yeah, it's a good song from them. CAFD. I know this is referencing something. Play it on the keys. Um, I mean, I'm thinking of the notes in my head. Who was the best power screams, Michael Sweet or Mlazhenko Matajevic? I feel like there's more character with Michael Sweet, but Matajevic's always kind of impressed me more. But yeah, I'm gonna type what his last name is. Who do you think is better music-wise, Firehouse or Alice in Chains? Don't make me compare them. That's not very fair. They're both two of my favorite bands. Who do you think is a better singer during the 90s? The late CJ Snare or Toshi from X Japan? Definitely gonna go with CJ for this one. Because with X Japan, it was never really the vocals that really wowed me as much with them as much as it was mostly the guitar work that really got me invested in them. Endless Rain is such a great ballad. It is a good one. That song always makes me think of spring in high school because that's when I first listened to it. Search is one of the best Malaysian bands ever. It came out as a Bella is such an amazing ballad. That is a band I've never heard of. Any thoughts on Harem Scarum, band that came out the same year as Nirvana's Nevermind album? I like them. They are a very cool and interesting melodic glam AOR type band. What you eating under there? Eating. Nothing. What is your opinion on Holy Soldier? Uh, pretty good band, but I feel like part of me kind of views them as a band that kind of wanted to be Striper a little. And Bang Tango, not a band I really listen to very much, but I know that Someone Like You is a not bad song. Which animals do you like better, cats or dogs? Dogs, no question. Opinion on Lords of the Trident, don't know it. I'm not saying that, Space. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't really remember um, opening bands at a lot of these shows. Who do you think is a better guitar player, Akira Takasaki or Akihito Kinoshita? I'm gonna go with Akira for this one, mainly because I know who he is. And I also like his solo album, Tusk of Jaguar. Annihilator or Watchtower? Definitely Watchtower. Testament or Exodus? Definitely Testament. Sodom or Tankard? Sodom. Agent Orange or Persecution Mania? Agent Orange. What'd you take on Guns N' Roses and Nirvana feud? Don't really care. Memorize by Fire by Enforcer is one of the best songs of 2013. Cool. Best song that came out in 2011, Head of the Pack by Skullfist. Okay. What's your opinion on Doing Your Mom by Ray William Johnson? One of my biggest guilty pleasures. Which music artist that you had a crush on personally? Uh, well, I never really had any really serious, crushes on any musical artists. The closest I can think would probably be um, between Orianthe and Ariana Grande. There's one internet animated series that I highly recommend watching. It's called The Metal Family. Ariana Grande is so fake, though. Come on. And what can I say? I've always been sort of turned on whenever she said, "You like my hair? Gee, thanks. Just bought it." It's like, yes, I do like your hair a lot. I kind of agree with you on the metal elitist and fans treat Kanye West like he's a 2-year-old and they did not know that he is anti-Semitic. Dude, Kanye has been on a downward spiral and it's kind of hilarious. Schwartz. Am I lasagna? No. Why not? Because you are not edible. Must not say what I'm insinuating when I said Schwartz. I have a guess for what it might be, and I hope it's not what I think it is. Because if it is what I'm thinking it is, then you're a very naughty boy. Is it a play on words relating to Arnold? Oh, it isn't. That probably says something about me. It's a German word. Google Translate it. I am disappointed. Why you think they call it dope? Because it makes you a dope. I think I'm about ready to cut the stream since it's kind of winded down right now. So, hope everybody enjoyed chilling. Hope everybody can just take it easy and try to, feel good and all that. So, take care, guys. I'm Shades, and I will see you next time.